Our next speaker is Leah Riddell. Leah is a bilingual deaf interpreter who educates individuals, small businesses, and corporations about inclusive communication strategies through her SignAble Vi5ion Inc. business. Leah is also a consultant, trainer, sign language instructor, artist, and advocate for inclusion, striving for access for all, everyone wins. Welcome, Leah.
Thank you very much for having me here today. I am, with respect and gratitude, I operate here on the shared, unceded territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat nations, originally known as Cataraqui, and now known as Kingston. I honor their cultures, traditions, and languages. Inclusive communication is a passion for me. Next slide, please. Hello, I'm a white woman with short brown hair, wearing an orange V-neck shirt. I'm wearing glasses with blue frames. They're new glasses for me, so I'm still getting used to them. I use the pronouns she and her. My name is Leah Riddell, and I am a bilingual deaf entrepreneur who founded my business, SignAble Vi5ion Incorporated, and I teach individuals, small businesses, and larger corporations inclusive communication strategies across Canada. The slide shows 3 images of illustrated samples of these services. So how does this work for businesses? I come to employers' businesses to observe and evaluate their staff. I then consult with the employer regarding what they're doing right, and I provide feedback on opportunities they have to improve. I coach them through scenarios of how to communicate with peers or customers successfully. And then I provide training for their staff. I empower businesses to create deeper, more inclusive client experience and space. And they learn basic sign languages as well. Now, there's many benefits and reasons why this is important, but that's a topic for another time. If you're interested, you can follow me on social media or see me at my website. Anyways, through personal experience, I teach that communication is not one way and is not always speaking and listening. And what sets me apart from other businesses is my personal story of being faced with a lack of accessibility and stepping up myself to work to solve this widespread problem. My methods are fun and approachable, and don't worry, I don't bite. I really want everyone to understand different perspectives and to do better. Next slide, please. Not everything needs to be so wordy when posted. Not everyone can read. For example, a small child may not have the patience for it. Some people are busy and prefer to listen on the go, or perhaps a person is new to Canada and English isn't their first language. I have provided innovative ways to make signage inclusive in the workplace. Signage is crucial to communicate to 3 of the 5 senses: sound, touch, and sight. Displayed on the PowerPoint are images showing 3 words and icons of each: sound, touch, and sight. I illustrate outline figures of diverse sign language characters for education, welcome signs, or safety signs in the workplace, and also for this event. And I'm holding a card I designed that teaches 6 different signs pertaining to nature and accessibility. Added on this card is a QR code
which is a matrix barcode you can scan and use to link to a video. Now, most of you probably don't know ASL, so these QR codes link to short videos of ASL that show illustrated characters teaching signs with voiceover and captions provided. Now, imagine this scenario. If I go to a city art gallery and there's a blurb next to a piece of art that offers a QR code. I can scan the code and see a signed version of that English text. Now, I can read, of course, but my preference is to use my native language. So I can watch a translation with an accent of the artist, enhanced information showing the mood and the description of the art visually. The signer could describe the strokes of the paintbrush, or the movement of, say, the horse as illustrated in the piece of art. It would become a three-dimensional version of what would otherwise be a two-dimensional art piece. Now, if you imagine another scenario, going to a national park and seeing no such thing, imagine if there was a brochure with information describing different activities I could do in the park. A brochure with written words is a limited modality. If there was a scanned QR code, I could link to a signer showing a three-dimensional map, giving directions with their hands, describing in a way that is deaf accessible, giving visual information about where various information stops are. A linked signer could share stories or interpretive information about the trail. For example, where a tree has come down because of a tornado, or where park rangers are working to replant new forest. And then maybe further down the trail, there's a lake that is developed from a beaver dam that blocked some flow of stream or river. QR codes can be placed anywhere in parks, be it on brochures, on bulletin board posters, or even stakes set up at various information stops along the trail. If a QR code is there, you're good to go. Next slide, please. So reading the words on the PowerPoint slide, they say all public information should have a QR code with all inclusive methods of communication. On the right-hand side of the slide is an image of my illustration of the card I just presented in blue tones of nature. Signage at national parks can provide information accommodating 3 of the 5 senses if they do include Braille additionally. And adding a QR code, one can have access to translated versions in as many spoken or signed languages as needed. It can link to a website where people can choose their language of preference and watch the information. Global positioning systems, or GPS, can even provide digital maps that have points of inclusive communication strategies that enable people to enjoy nature walks or be linked to emergency information if needed. Really, it becomes a liability issue. Something to think about. An additional need for this across parks would be free Wi-Fi so that people could access that information linked to the QR code. It really is necessary. Next slide, please. I've got my notes mixed up here. Just one moment. Okay. So I'll describe the PowerPoint slide. It says inclusive communication, and the text reads, it all comes down to an awareness of the way we communicate with park users every day. And this slide has an image of 2 identical faces facing each other. One hears with their ears, and the other one is designed to show hearing with their eyes. You know, exchanging information in a way that allows everyone, no matter their background, no matter their labels, to feel they belong. This provides true access and makes people feel welcome in our national parks. And I'll go over a short list of ideas for information you can link to a QR code. But I'll be honest, I call them suggestions. They're not actually suggestions because, hello, this is access. We need this full inclusive communication. They're pretty straightforward and necessary. Next slide, please. So this image just shows the described audio icon, and the text reads, provide information surrounding key visual elements. This is a great access element for the benefit of people who are blind or have limited vision or are visually impaired and who visit parks. Next slide, please. This slide shows the closed caption icon, and the text reads, processes of displaying text on a video screen to provide additional or interpretive information. So this helps with dialogue that is spoken perhaps quite quickly or with accents. Perhaps it's mumbled or there's background noise that's interfering. Closed captions can provide clearer access that way. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm running out of time here. This slide shows my sign language icon, and the text reads, sign languages are full-fledged natural languages with their own grammar and lexicon, ensuring, so if a deaf or hard of hearing, a deaf, blind, or deafened park users, anyone who attends will be informed. You can hire a deaf translator to translate your announcements, information, and more. We have been working very hard as a community to have sign language recognized as equal to spoken English and French, but they are not yet recognized as official languages. Next slide, please. This slide shows my interpreter icon, and the text reads, the role of the interpreter is to effectively facilitate communication between deaf individuals and those who do not sign, to make sure park users understand concerning emergency instructions and which events provide interpreters, and making sure people feel included and the information is accessible. Next slide, please. This is my last slide, and it shows an icon of hands shaking, and the text reads, it's the right thing to do. Communication equality is a basic human right. Deaf people must have access to the same information hearing people have. It's important that parks best meet the needs of a diverse population of consumers. It would make attending parks more equitable, less stressful, and more enjoyable for deaf individuals. I'm a consultant, trainer, sign language instructor, artist, and advocate for inclusion. I strive for the philosophy, access for all, everyone wins, and you should too. Thank you. I know our time has nearly run out, so perhaps if there are questions, they can be sent to me at a later time. My email address is info, I-N-F-O, @signablevision.com. Vision is spelled with a 5, replacing the S. To learn more, thank you.
Thank you, Leah. We do have time for one question if you're up for it.
Certainly.
Great. So I was wondering, where Wi-Fi is not available for the QR codes to work, are the more old-fashioned audio guides that you might pick up from a visitor center a good alternative, or are those being phased out these days?
If I wouldn't say replace, but I'd say provide options, make sure those remain available if Wi-Fi is limited, and it's better more options than less.
Absolutely. And I do have one more question. With the technology of QR codes and the accessibility options that provides, are QR codes that link to ASL videos a good alternative to having a live ASL interpreter available at the park? Or, should we be striving for that gold standard of having a live ASL interpreter in all the parks?
A live interpreter for events is a better option. QR codes would be more suitable for, communicating English language if it's at an information stop on an interpretive trail or a safety sign. But for programming, I would recommend a live interpreter, definitely.
Wonderful, amazing.
For, as we have now, live interpreters, so that it allows that communication.
Agreed. Yeah, it allows that dynamic discussion.
Exactly. That's right.
Thank you, Leah, so much for your time today. We really enjoyed your presentation.
You're welcome.